That being said, I'm sure there are plenty of people somewhere around the world. I'm sure there are plenty of people who want to write me off. I'm sure there are plenty of people who doubt me. And you know what? It won't be the first time. It won't be the last time. But if you want to write me off now, if you want to doubt me, you go ahead and say whatever you want to say. You go ahead and think whatever you want to think. I'll tell you the same thing I would have told that black demon, that cloud hanging over me in my dream. You can take all that shit and shove it right up your ass. I don't run from demons. I just beat the shit out of them.
This is Jon Moxley, known for being deranged, violent, mentally unstable, as well as being the heart and soul of all elite wrestling. To put it bluntly, he's kind of a sick guy. I really enjoy watching Jon Moxley matches, especially when he does get a chance to be as violent as he can be. I'm expected to see something crazy, brutal, shocking, but ultimately something badass. There's a rating system I like to do in these series where I rate matches on like a meme tier list format, but everyone is more familiar with the star rating system popularized by wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer, where matches would get rated on a scale of 0 to 5 stars. It used to be rare when a match would receive the Meltzer 5-star rating, but nowadays we're expected to get more than 20 matches that have been rated 5 stars, with half of them going past the limit. I have my opinion on his rating scale, as well as Dave and many others. People often forget that it's literally just one guy's opinion after all. If he feels like a match is deserving of 5 stars, then that's his take. Regardless though, I've been wanting to check out some of the matches that he's rated 5 stars. Starting with the topic of today's video, Jon Moxley. So far, Meltzer has given 6 of Moxley's matches 5 stars. 2 of which I've actually seen live in person, so I'd figure it'd be pretty fun to go back and take a look at all these matches and see if they really do deserve to be rated 5 stars. I want to give a heads up too, there's going to be a little bit of a bias. Perhaps one of the most important matches in Moxley's career, relatively fresh coming off his WWE firing. His first match taking place 2 months prior against Juice Robinson and instantly becoming the IWGP United States Champion. Shortly after, making his AEW debut at the end of Double or Nothing 2019. With these 2 events happening back to back and the loud reaction from the crowd, clearly you could tell that this guy is a bit of a big deal. But it was only one victory against Juice Robinson and a squash against a young lion. Can this Moxley guy manage to keep up with the rest of the New Japan roster? The ultimate test for him is to insert himself into the G1 Climax, a tournament filled with many big challengers from Moxley. One of the toughest challengers is the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. Around this time, Moxley was kind of the American equivalent of Ishii, so it would make sense to put these 2 together. This was during a time where Moxley was in the middle of reinventing himself, wanted to prove to everyone that he is more than just an American Ishii. But even by just looking at them, it's hard to tell these 2 apart. I will say I do love the opening of this match where Ishii just gets right into Moxley's face and the crowd immediately is fired up for it. The crowd brawling kind of drags a bit in this match and it's a little anticlimactic. I always love a bit of crowd brawling in wrestling, but there wasn't any real urgency other than Moxley throwing Ishii's head into the East sign. And in the end, it doesn't really affect the later half of this match. There are parts in this match where it's paced kind of weird, like we just came back from the crowd brawl right into a submission segment. It's really stop and go at times, but when it's good, it really gets good. The chair battle was always fun to see. The fact that Ishii does a splash off the top rope through a table is something I never thought I would ever see him do. The stiff strikes and the biting from Moxley makes him stand out more than just being thought of as an Ishii clone, especially since he's the one that keeps bringing out the weapons. This was arguably one of Moxley's best matches ever since leaving WWE. But Kevin Kelly kept saying how scared he was for how violent this match was going to be. Sadly, it doesn't go to that shocking level that you would see in some of Moxley's other matches in this video. But I really do enjoy this match and I had a lot of fun watching it. Now, I did thought of using the Ring Rewind rating system for this, but I'll save it for the end of the video. For now, let's stick to the star rating system. And I'm gonna give this match 4 3/4 stars.
Ladies and gentlemen, shit's about to hit the fan. This is anarchy in the arena!
I'm just gonna say, from that announcement alone, this match already gets a 5 stars for me. I've seen this match so many times, and I love every rewatch of it. To this day, one of the wildest and most insane brawls I've ever seen. The first fourth of this match is where Wild Thing is playing the whole time, and there's like 5 different fights going on. It's such a sight to see. It felt like a bar fight from a movie, and it had to have been awesome to see in person. Even when the scooter spot and the timekeeper's table spot doesn't work, it really doesn't kill the flow of this match. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things going on at the same time, but that's the craziness of the match, which is why I love it so much. Not once does the energy, tension, or speed of this match die down at all. This match isn't really much about Moxley, more it is about all 10 people involved in the match just doing an amazing job selling this big brawl all over the entire arena. I want to do a future episode of Ring Rewind about this match in particular, but this had to have been a Jon Moxley idea. It works perfectly. The blood, the selling, the weapons scattered everywhere, the ring being torn apart. The whole visual of the entire arena looking like a mess by the end of it just leaves you with the feeling of you just saw the craziest thing ever. Of course, the wrong team did win this match, and of course, I believe this should have been the end of the Jericho and Eddie Kingston feud. I believe that we're lucky just to get this match in general. I'm gonna give this match a 5 stars. 2 things I'll say about this match. This may be the greatest match in Jon Moxley's career, and I was there in person to witness it. I don't care if I have a low bias towards this match, but this may be one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life. Promos, the previous matches leading up to this were all amazing. This felt like a proper culmination to multiple things. This felt like something to get Hangman back up to main eventer status again ever since losing the title to CM Punk back in 2022. This felt like a conclusion to their rivalry after the last few months prior. Sadly, the story kept continuing, but ultimately this felt like the match Moxley always wanted to have in mainstream wrestling. He's always wanted to do this type of match that he wasn't allowed to do in WWE. He seems in his element here, as he's repeatedly stabbing Hangman in the head with a fork multiple times, stomping on Hangman's hand with bricks, getting sliced up by barbed wire. This is one of the most anti-WWE matches ever, and I fucking love it. Again, the momentum of this match doesn't slow down, and I really felt the energy in the arena that night, as it kept building back up in suspense to see what the next shocking and gruesome moment was gonna be. It's not just using weapons for the sake of it, they showed the reason, they showed the intent, they had all the purpose. It's not really anything convoluted, it was all simple but still violent. And it's all capped off by the perfect ending in which it gives a legit reason why Paige is called the Hangman. I hold this match near and dear to my heart for a special reason. It's my fiance's all-time favorite match, and that alone just makes me real happy. But even stripping all that away, if it wasn't her favorite match ever, and if I never went there that night, I still believe that this is Moxley's best match in his entire career. Of course, I'm gonna give this one the full 5 stars. I'm gonna be blunt. The awkward camera cuts, the music getting too annoying, the over-the-top silly spots, this match is what everyone disliked the first Anarchy in the Arena match for being. For the most part, I really didn't enjoy the match. It sort of picks up once everyone comes back to the ring, but it's overshadowed by the thumbtacks on bare feet, exploding super kicks, Captain America shield fight sequences. I mean, it all looks painful and it all looks cool for sure, but it feels all too planned out, not really spur of the moment urgency like how you saw in the first Anarchy in the Arena match. Like, I could believe Eddie Kingston finding a jerry can somewhere in the bag more than I could believe Matt Jackson randomly finding an exploding boot. I really do appreciate the ending where Wheeler Yuta gets the pin on Kenny Omega with the seatbelt and the Blackpool Combat Club overall getting the victory. But the fact that this is their special match type and they needed the help of Konosuke Takeshita and Don Callis just kind of diminishes their whole win quite a bit. It's not a bad match by any means, there are some aspects I really do like about it, but it's overshadowed by its annoying aspects on a wrestling standpoint, storytelling standpoint, and a production standpoint. There are so many times where camera cuts just miss spots and you don't even get to see them. I could see a lot of fun in it, but I can understand why this can be distracting and confusing, especially for newer viewers. I'm gonna give this match 3 stars. This is without a doubt the most surprising match on this list. Not only that, but probably the most underrated match too. Moxley isn't really the main focus, for us this match is all about showcasing Moxley's protege, Shota Umino. Shota has spent the past year to this point trying to make a name for himself, proving to everyone that he can be one of the next leaders for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Moxley took this kid when he was a young lion and helped them mold him into the shooter. Of course, Claudio and Moxley have made themselves known elsewhere, but how can the three of them manage to keep up with the never openweight trios champions across from them? Everyone has a main focus they go after. Claudio and Tanahashi start the match off, Moxley and Ishii square off due to their history, which includes their G129 match from earlier in the video, and Shota targets Okada, the future prospect standing up and facing, at the time, the ace of New Japan. And for the next 20 minutes, it's breakneck speed of non-stop action. The aggression of Okada and Shota alone stands out as a highlight, but there's other incredible moments here too, like Claudio swinging Okada around. It's a simple match that has a story that I feel like anybody can understand if they're paying attention. Not to mention how fast this match feels while watching. It's a 20-minute match that feels like 10 minutes. Shota tries his best to hit that one move to keep Okada down and shock everyone in Osaka, but Okada only needs one Rainmaker to put Shota in his place. Maybe some other time, but now is not your time. This may come as a bit of a shock to you, but I'm giving this one the full 5 stars. If I recommend any match to go watch, it's this one. We finished things off with not only a match that I talked about before on Ring Rewind, but another Moxley match I was lucky enough to watch in person. If you really want a more detailed analysis on Shingo vs. Mox, then I'll have a link to the Battle in the Valley Ring Rewind in the description. But I'll just summarize the things I really like about this match. It's just overall a fun match. I want to see more matches between these two. Moxley's best opponents are the ones who can just be as stiff and gritty as him. Sure, I do love some multi-man arena brawls, but some of Mox's best work is him versus another tough SOB where they could just beat the shit out of each other, no fucks given. I do think this is a very fitting match too. Even if there wasn't a title involved or a big story, it's just overall a fun match to watch. And sometimes you really need that in wrestling. The selling is amazing from both of these guys as always. The pace really doesn't slow or drag at all. My one big gripe, and it's not really the match's fault at all, it's the production value and the audio issues that the show has in general. Seriously, whenever New Japan does a US show, they really need better audio equipment. If you see my Ring Rewind review on this match, you know that I gave this match an S tier, meaning that yes, I'm going to give this match the full 5 stars. I felt like I've been on a bit of a journey watching these matches, a journey of a man who's rediscovering himself. At the start, we watched Mox finding his footing again after leaving WWE, and now he's in his element, keeping up with the biggest and best names around, and a style he's most comfortable with. Jon Moxley death matches are some of my favorite matches to watch, and I'm so glad and lucky I got to be there to witness 2 of them. But it's not just death matches too. G1 Climax tournament matches, 6-man tag matches are something Moxley is super great at. If it's no nonsense violence and aggression, you bet your ass I'm gonna stop everything to watch. Throughout this journey, I got to really appreciate Moxley's performances, but how would I rank these 6 matches from worst to best? Well, at the bottom of the list is pretty easy. It's the Anarchy in the Arena 2 match from Double or Nothing 2023. For number 5, it's Moxley vs. Ishii from G1 Climax 29. Number 4 is Jon Moxley vs. Shingo Takagi no DQ match from Battle in the Valley 2024. And my top 3 are number 3, Moxley, Claudio, and Shota Umino versus Tanahashi, Ishii, and Okada from Dominion 6.4. Number 2 is a close call, but I'm gonna be real, it's Anarchy in the Arena 1 from Double or Nothing 2022, and my favorite Jon Moxley match is Hangman Page versus Jon Moxley Texas Deathmatch Revolution 2023. This match holds a special place in my heart. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your time.
Now, even back then, 20 years ago, I was swimming upstream. I never really had the wind at my back. I've never had help. In fact, a lot of people try to tell me what I can and can't do, what I can and can't accomplish. Well, my message for them is the same now as it was 20 years ago. Kiss my ass and watch me. Watch me.
Let there be rain, and there was rain. Let there be rain, and there was rain. On me.